How are you doing today, Poorna?
Hi, Stefan. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you.
Good.
I loved your role in this. It was
Yay! Thanks for beginning with that.
well, what was it? What was it like effectively playing a kind of a mob boss?
It was hilarious. I don't know if you're talking to Saagar and the boys, but they will tell you I have no upper body strength. So, like, handling a gun was so tough. There's a scene where I have to pull the trigger, and I just couldn't. Like, my thumb is not strong enough to pull the trigger. Like, it was hill every day. We just on set. It's one of the most funniest, joyous sets I have ever been on, and we were allowed to improv and we just to find this character. I used to go home and watch Housewives of Orange County. It was very specific, but Lucky is big, she's
Mm.
physical, she's full of emotion, and it's life or death literally every day when she wakes up. So it was a joy.
To be fair, it'd probably be more troubling if you found using a gun really easy. Yeah.
Right, right, totally.
I mean, it is a role, but kind of mob bosses and kind of characters of this nature, they're kind of shrouded in this kind of cinematic history. I mean, you look at kind of some of the great kind of mobster films, often usually
Yeah.
kind of mafia based. But I just wondered, I mean, if you had any other kind of reference points. I mean, you mentioned the kind of Housewives of Orange County, but were there any kind of specific personalities or type of characters from reality shows or movies that really kind of stood out to you when you wanted to kind of bring this character to life?
Oh, 1,000% of the Housewives of Orange County. 1,000%. I'd like watch it every single night and just take like as an actor, you're sometimes scared of being too physical because it feels like you're overdoing it. But the minute you watch Housewives of Orange County, they're like throwing their shoes, it's just chaos. And so I want to bring that energy. But growing up, I didn't when I watch Bond movies are always my favorite movies, but I never want to be the girl he falls in love with. I never want to be James Bond. It was always the villain of James Bond I wanted to be. I mean, that is for me where the yummy, juicy stuff is. And of course, Lucky is, part nurturer and part killer, and I love that aspect of it.
Of course, Lucky has to keep Raj and Mir in check, but she
Yes.
also has to have a lot of patience with those two. So much of the kind of comedy derives from that kind of dynamic between the three of them. How fun was that to bring to life?
I mean, I look at my casting in relationship to their casting. Like, I feel they are so perfect. I mean, in real life, they're very, very different. These, like, in the other room are two of the smartest men you'll ever meet, right? But just the casting of it, and we're all in opposition, right? Mir is everything Raj isn't, and Raj is everything Mir isn't. I am everything that they are not, right? They're incompetent, I'm competent. They are scared, I'm fierce. It's we're all in opposition to each other. But it was, I mean, bringing this character to life with these two just felt like playing like a three-person ping pong game. Never went well.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
complete chaos.
because you're constantly, like you said, it's a kind of show of opposites in many ways, and you're constantly
Yes.
bouncing off both
Yes,
of them.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. But I mean, because just from watching it, some of the scenes they're quite kind of out there and they're really kind of hilarious. Were you guys able to keep it in check? I mean, you obviously have to
No,
keep it in check, but or were you just laughing constantly throughout
we
the
were
shoot?
laughing the entire time. And we rotate directors, sometimes every episode, sometimes every two episodes. There was one director, she's wonderful, Fawzia Mirza. It was her first day on her first big show. First day. And we couldn't keep our shit together. First scene, first day. What should have been an hour and a half scene went on for like 3.5 hours. Like it was all there are very few scenes where the whole cast is together. And when all of us together, Brian, Alfie, the three of us, it is just chaos on set. But in a
Yeah,
wonderful way. It really is the most joyous set I've ever been on.
because like
And
you say,
the writing is just kind of the writing serves comedy. It serves cocaine, but it also serves comedy. That's what the writing is for. So you just kind of have to be present and hit those jokes.
yeah, because some of the scenes are just hilarious and completely like, unexpected. They took me
Like
by
which
surprise.
ones?
Well, I mean, just the very right. I'm just talking. I only talk about the first episode because obviously I don't
Yes.
want to give any spoilers. But
Yes.
I mean, firstly, the golf ball in the head. Just
And the amount
that's
of blood.
yeah, yeah. And it was just the amount of blood you guys get through is quite
That's right.
something. But were there
That's
any
right.
things you read on the page that you just
Yes.
thought, I can't wait to shoot that scene?
Well, that's a great question. There was a scene that I read on the page that I would have done differently, and then I got into rehearsal and I was like, wait a minute. So it was a scene where we are in the office and the FBI is raiding us, and I can see the FBI walking in. So, that is basically the scene. And then once we were in rehearsal, I knew it was a comedy, obviously, but I didn't know, I couldn't quite find the tone. And then someone said, "Oh, it's like Righteous Gemstones." One of the producers or one of the showrunners said Righteous Gemstones. And Righteous Gemstones has a level of physical comedy that I didn't think Deli Boys was. So when I did that scene in the pilot and I see the FBI, I decided to like quickly, redact the pages and then crumple them up and give them to Matthew. And I said, "Eat it." And he took the paper and he eats all the paper, So it goes from like just a simple scene to an absurd scene really quickly. And that rehearsals really helped us all find the tone for that.
Yeah, because I think he lets, is it Jake is who plays Matthew, isn't it?
Yes.
He lets off a remarkable scream as well. I've never heard a man scream like that.
That's it. Between Asif and Jake, like our eardrums are shot. That's it. But everyone is game. Like that was Jake's first anything, film or TV. Like he was just game. And so I think the whole cast and the whole atmosphere was just game for anything.
And you're stood, well, you're not actually in front of a deli sort of counter, but I know that's obviously the kind of behind you, that's what I can see. And it obviously is set in that kind of world. So my
Yes.
question to you is, you're quite hungry, you've got $5 in your pocket and you head to a deli store for some snacks. What are you buying?
The Ferrero Rocher. I hate deli food. I'm gonna take the most bougie thing out of out of that deli. It's gonna be a small two-pack, even one Ferrero Rocher.
Just a single Ferrero Rocher for
Just a single,
should sell them
totally worth
individually.
it. If what?
They should sell them individually, I think. Just you could just go
Wait,
in there. Buy
don't
one.
they? I'm
I
sure
think
in New York they individualize Tic Tac, so I'm sure they'll sell Ferrero Rocher.
yeah, we get them in these big trays.
I know.
But my very final question, to go to on a sort of more serious though, but obviously in
Yes.
the kind of American comedy world, you do get some kind of South Asian kind of representation, but usually as a kind of character in a kind of show. But here, the whole story revolves around these characters. How important is it to not just appear in a show, but to be the show, particularly in comedy?
Such a insightful question, actually, Stefan, because what America grew up on in terms of South Asian representation was Apu from The Simpsons, and he is behind a deli counter, right? And we never got who he is, never got his backstory, never got him as a three-dimensional cartoon character where, and he was always the punchline for the show. And here you have Deli Boys, which is seven. I always say Apu was not written for us. It was not for us or by us. And here you have Deli Boys years and years later, which is all those things. It's as funny, but we've moved from punchline to plotline. And that is a really, really profound, significant kind of transition for us.
Well, I can't. Hopefully, there's more to come as well. And we'll speak further down the line
I
again.
hope so.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!